Hey fans, fighters, subscribers and YouTubers, and welcome to the most spectacular fighting show on YouTube, Fighters That Will Always Be Remembered. This show includes documentary stories of famous boxers, UFC fighters and K1 fighters that left an undeletable trail in their sport and should always remain known and famous for their achievements. Please follow episodes, send your propositions to my Facebook, and make sure that your fighter gets the next story. Hello and welcome. Welcome to one more episode of Fighters That Will Always Be Remembered. Today we are talking about one extremely young fighter for the world of mixed martial arts, for the world of American UFC. We're talking about Anthony Showtime Pettis. Anthony Showtime Pettis, an American mixed martial artist, former UFC lightweight champion. He is born on January 27, 1987, from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, United States. Despite of his nickname Showtime, he has one more nickname, Britty, nationality American, height 5'10", weight 155 pounds, division lightweight, reach 185 centimeters, stance orthodox, team Rufus Sport, trainer Duke Rufus. About the martial arts that this guy possesses, they are a bit surprised. This is the most attractive kicker probably in the whole world of MMA and Ultimate Fighting. He has a third dan black belt in Taekwondo. Taekwondo, my favorite martial art. So this is the reason why I extremely love this guy so much. He also has a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and a yellow rope in Capoeira. So if you follow his fights a little bit more, you will see that his kicking is extremely unorthodox, extremely precise, and he can hit opponent really hard and knock out in only one strike. About early life, he is born to Eugene Pettis Jr. and Annette Garcia. He grew up in south side of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, along with his older brother Ray Pettis and younger brother Sergio Pettis. He is a Puerto Rican and Mexican by his ancestry, but his grandfather changed last name from Perez to Pettis to avoid discrimination. Anthony Showtime Pettis unfortunately had a really bad family situation because his father was murdered on November 12, 2003. He was stabbed to death by a robber at a friend's house. He started training Taekwondo and boxing at the age of 5. College he also started wrestling. He was training Capoeira. He is a really and extremely good fighter. Very much all around. He has 21 match, 18 wins, 7 by knockout, 8 by submission, 3 by decision. 3 losses, all by the decision. This guy has never ever been knocked out. Never ever. He has never ever been knocked out in the world of UFC. So do you know what this means in the world of UFC? That you're never ever knocked out. I mean, you got to be an alien for this. For something like this, you really need to be an alien. A really good and strong fighter. Really a guy who loves this sport so much. Really a guy who gives himself that much. And really a guy that has a really light future in this sport. But now, talking about Anthony Showtime Pettis, he also has a submission grappling record, and his grappling record is 1-1 Dave Kochkovsky on points 2011. He lost to Dave Kochkovsky and won Anthony Lineberg via submission triangle choke. And actually, let's start talking about his MMA. This is what most of fighters expect. 1. Thomas Pomeran TKO punches GFS Super Brawl. First fight was on January 27, 2007. He was fighting on his 20th birthday. And believe it or not, the whole fight lasted only 24 seconds. TKO punches and amazing victory. After that win over Lonnie Amdal, submission, Lonnie Amdal was injured, only 12 seconds. Michael Skinner's submission punches. His submission lasted, believe it or not, only 36 seconds. George Barraza TKO punches victory, all in the first round. And Mike Lambrecht, this was a famous head kick. So you can see Mike Lambrecht was moving around, trying to take him down, was pretty much unable to take Anthony Pettis down, was pretty much unable to do anything to Anthony Pettis. And in the end of the round, actually this was for me end of the round, but it was only 1 minute 94. In Milwaukee, Wisconsin, that head kick really landed. And this was probably one of the best KOs in the world of MMA ever. Versus Sharon Leggett via split decision. This is the first time he was fighting for 3 rounds. He won the GIFS lightweight championship and actually his first victory. Versus Jay Ellis, submission punches. In first round, only 1 minute and 12 seconds was needed to defend the GFS lightweight championship. Actually, after that win over Gabe Walbridge, also was able to defend it in Milwaukee, Wisconsin TKO punches. Only 1 minute was needed, 56 seconds. He was purely dominating, really. After that, he decided to go for something more heavier, more stronger. He went for VC 41, Sacramento, California, submitting Mike Campbell in probably one of the best triangle chokes ever. June 7, 2009. Later loss from Bart Palashevsky, split decision. I simply disagree with this. I think Anthony Showtime Pettis was a bit damaged in this fight. I always say that Anthony could fight a lot better, could give a lot more into this fight, and I highly doubt that judges were judging as it should. Despite Anthony Pettis is American, it was in Las Vegas, Nevada, but I disagree with this. Versus Danny Castillo, amazing head kick and punches after that, and this was a knockout of the night, fantastic knockout. Then 2 victories via triangle choke came first versus Axel Karalexis, VC 40-48. After that versus Shane Roller, VC 50. In the third round, the match was near to the end. 4 minutes 51 seconds. It was a submission of the night. And later, victory via an anonymous decision. This was the match when Benson Henderson received a strong head kick. And this was the time when Anthony Showtime Pettis got his nickname Showtime. And you can see this taekwondo strike of the fence and really strong kick. Benson Henderson went down. It was in the 5th round, only 1 minute before the end. This is when he won the WEC lightweight championship. It was fight of the night, 2010 fight of the year, I probably guess due to this move and amazing victory. Later loss over Clay Guida via an anonymous decision. Clay Guida is more like a wrestling guy. He was more successful on the ground, and I agree with this loss. I think Clay Guida was probably a better fighter. It was deserved. Later went a victory versus Jeremy Stephens. Well, split decision, but I cannot say better or not. I mean, split decision. They were tough. Both fighters were tough. Maybe Pettis was more attractive. After that fantastic victory after Joe Luzon, KO, head kick and punches. This head kick really strongly landed. Man, whenever I remember this head kick, I even look myself a few times. I have similar kicking style. Inside Tamajipon, it was knockout of the night. Later win over Donald Cerrone in 2013 against again near his birthday, a TKO, a fantastic body kick. First round, only 2 minutes and 35 seconds were needed. Also knockout of the night in Chicago, Illinois. Later victory over Benson Henderson. Benson Henderson, an amazing wrestler, was submitted via armbar, and nobody could expect that from a guy like Anthony Showtime Pettis, who is even not a wrestler at all, but Jiu-Jitsu was better than wrestling this time. He won the UFC lightweight championship, later defending it versus Gilbert Melendez, submission guillotine choke in UFC 181, December 6, 2004. Anthony Showtime Pettis won in the second round. 1 minute 53 seconds were needed. And he defended the UFC lightweight championship. It was the performance of the night. Unfortunately, in last fight, he lost versus Rafael dos Anjos, an anonymous decision, March 14, 2015. I highly disagree with this. He lost the UFC lightweight championship, but I think he was better from Rafael dos Anjos. I really think he was better. I really think he was damaged in this fight, and I really think the UFC will give him a chance to revenge. Actually, from championships and accomplishments, UFC lightweight championship 1 time, 1 successful title defense, knockout of the night 2 times, submission of the night 1 time, performance of the night 1 time, submission of the year 2013. I mean, this is really something you should remember. Really amazing. Really amazing. From his personal life, along with Duke Rufus, Pettis owns the Rufus Sport MMA Academy and the Showtime Sports Bar in Milwaukee. He also owns the ASP Barber Shop in Milwaukee. Anthony and his ex-girlfriend Alexandra have a daughter named Daria, born in July 2011. Pettis, along with John Jones, Uriah Faber, Jose Benavides, Mark Munoz, Chad Mendes, and Scott Jorgensen, starred in a Form Athletics, now owned by K-Swiss Commercial. On December 2, 2013, Pettis received a certificate of achievement by the governor of Wisconsin, Scott Walker. On June 30, 2014, it was announced that Pettis signed a sponsorship deal with Reebok. In the fall of 2014, Pettis was voted to be the first UFC champion to appear on the cover of General Mills' Pettis box. The box appeared in stores in early 2015. And Anthony Showtime Pettis was one, and still is, the one of the rare UFC fighters that doesn't have problems with law. An amazing man, an amazing champion, and amazing fighter, and I hope the Anthony Showtime Pettis will retain his title in his next fight. It is expected to face Eddie Alvarez on January 7, 2016 at UFC Fight Night 81, and I highly expect that he defeats Eddie Alvarez and to return in a big style to be a number 1 contender and to defeat in the next match the current champion. Wish all the best to Anthony Showtime Pettis, and I hope he will fulfill my expectations. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and subscribe us on YouTube. Send us your propositions to make sure to see your favorite fighter in this show. Thanks, and see you all in the next episode.